Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session by K21 Academy. Today, our expert will be talking about AWS EC2 tutorial for beginners, what is AWS EC2, and every basics that you need to know about. So let's get into the video.
So today what we will be doing is we will be actually launching a EC2 instance. Okay. In cloud, you have got different families. Like in our real world also, we have different purposes. Like suppose say if I need a machine where a lot of compute is required, high compute utilization is a requirement mandate for my application. So then I need a system which is optimized for the computing power. Or suppose say I have a graphic processing to be done on my system. Then I want a GPU to be enabled. If I have a cache system to be created, then I want a memory optimized machine. If I want some kind of test machines, so some smaller instances, some machines where I will be storing my database, storage optimized machines where input output operations can be optimized, and general purpose. So they should be good for memory also, they should be good for storage also, and they should be good for compute also. Balanced one. I could have different kinds of requirements with me. So these are the families which is offered by Amazon. General purpose family, compute optimized family, storage optimized family, GPU enabled family, memory optimized family, and smaller instances. So this M, C, I, D, G, R, T. This is family name. Now there is no sense behind it. Amazon has just given an alphabet behind it. So these are the families. And the number 4, 2, this is actually the generation. So the family and the generation. So as I said, if you launch a T2 micro machine in a free tier, it falls under the free tier limit. So it is nothing but a smaller instance of T family, second generation, and this is the size of the machine. So Amazon has given the names just like the sizes of the cloth. So micro, medium, small, large, extra large, extra large. This is how Amazon has given the names. So it has been created for the layman. These are the types of the machines that you can launch in the cloud. If I show you the same thing on the live portal, so let me bring you here. So you write AWS instance type. This is a very interesting and useful link. So I'm sharing the link in the chat window also for you. So you can later refer, just copy it down and keep it handy with you. So see the same general purpose machines, compute optimized machines, memory optimized machines, the accelerated computing machines, the storage optimized machines. These are the 5 categories of the machines which are available for you to use. If you see this general purpose machine, these are the families which are available. So many. M, T. In M, it was fourth generation, then the fifth came. Now the sixth generation is there for general purpose. There is T family. Earlier it was T2 family, then it came T3A, then T3, and then T4G. As you proceed, like when it was T2 micro, so there was some performance which was given to us by T2 machines. When T3 was launched, it clearly says that it provides you 30% more performance over the T2 instances. So it actually enhancing, Amazon is enhancing his systems. In T4, it says that it is even better than the T3 machines. Okay. So T2, T4 micros are also like it is more better than your T3 machines. And in this, what is there? You can see it over here. So with T4 micro, you have burstable CPU governed by CPU credit. We'll understand about it later. This is main. You have got AWS Graviton 2 processor with 64-bit ARM Neoverse cores. Now, the person who is into this type of cores and type of processors, he will be able to understand that it is a stronger machine as compared to the T2 micro, which was providing me a Intel Xeon processor. A plain Intel Xeon processor was provided to me by T2 Micro. And with T4, I have got this Graviton 2 processor with 64-bit ARM Neoverse cores. So they gives me better performance. Okay. So this is what the families are. General purpose family. Here you will get a machine which will be, ideal for launching your web servers and your code repositories. Compute optimized family. If you have a high compute, high performance computing requirement, scientific modeling, dedicated gaming servers, server engines, machine learning platforms are to be created where high compute applications will be hosted. Then you will take this compute optimized family, C family. If you are going to create, this is a memory intensive family. It provides you memory intensive machines, and they are good for what? They are basically, good for the family. If you see the R family, they are good for creating your databases. If you want to create a database, this is a very good family you can use. R family. Okay. So the use case is open source database, in memory cache, real time big analytics has to be done. Then memory optimized family. Accelerated computing. Okay. Accelerated computing. They see all the families are memory optimized, whether it is R, X, but then the type of processor being offered is different. The type of networking speed being offered is different. So you can go into these and can see accelerated computing. So suppose say if you are having a system instances where you will use hardware accelerators or co-processors to perform functions like floating point number calculation, graphic processing, data pattern matching, where you need more CPUs and GPUs. You need GPU based machines. Then accelerated computing. Okay, if it is an HPC, compute optimized. If you need graphic processing, accelerated computing family. Storage optimized. These are basically the machines which will give you low latency input output operations. So if you need faster IOPS, input output operations per second, if you need faster IOPS for your application, that means if you have a workload which require high sequential read and write access to a very large data sets on a local storage, so then you will be needing what? You'll be needing this storage optimized systems. Very good for your relational databases. Cassandra, MongoDB, KeyDB, PostGRE, they are good for that. Okay. So if you have a business critical workload where high sets of data is being written and read, so then the storage optimized data the systems are good for you. So this memory optimized is, this is the system which is used for your workloads where you can create open source databases which need more RAM kind of memory, like caches and all are required to be more, and this is for the proper databases. This can also be used. So this is also your a family which can be used where you need high throughput and high input output operations per second. Then you take up this storage optimized one. So these are the different types of families which are there, which you can utilize in Amazon on your EC2 dashboard. Like when you land up on AWS console, this is the page you are there. But if you want to go and launch a EC2 instance, you need to click on the search bar and write EC2 over here. Click on this. And when you see this page, this is your page from where you can launch your machine. To launch a machine, what you have to do is you have to click on this running instances or the instances over here. So there you will be able to see all the instances which are there in your account. Okay, you can either click on launch instance from here, or you click on launch instances from inside instance tab. Both the places you will land up on the same 7-step wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same 7-step wizard you will be landing up, and from here you can launch any type of machine. So see on the step number 1, Amazon machine image, AMI, which is actually a template which contains operating system, application server, and application. So it's not only operating system you are selecting. If you see these AMIs, it is Amazon Linux, Fedora Linux, Mac machines, Red Hat Enterprise, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows 2019 base server. base with container, 2019 with SQL Server 2017 Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition. Which kind of machine do you want to launch? You can launch any of them, but then make sure that whichever machine you are selecting, it should be free tier eligible. If you will take up Windows machine with SQL Enterprise, which do not have a free tier eligible tag, then you will end up paying cost for it. Okay, so make sure that you select a machine which is free tier eligible, and if you don't want you to make mistakes, then you can click on this free tier only options. So then all the one which are listed are free tier, and you are safe to select any one of them. Let me select a Windows machine. So I'm writing, let me browse down, and we will select a Windows 2019 base. This AMI I am selecting. With every AMI, there is an AMI ID also associated. This is the number of this AMI. You don't have to do anything. You just click on select. So now you quickly moved on to the second step. See at the top, the selection moved from first step to second step. This is step number 2. I need to choose my instance type. So all these families which I have explained you with all the sizes are available here. So if you want to see that what is the largest machine I can create in the cloud, so just do the sorting on the basis of CPU. So 128 cores CPU, virtual CPUs are possible. How much RAM at maximum is possible? So it is 2 TB of RAM which is possible on my EC2 instance. So this is how you can select what do you want. But then don't take any of these. Stick on to the free tier eligible machine type only. That is T2 micro, or otherwise there is one called T3 micro. So if it is not listed as free to you over here, don't select it. Like for me, it is not listed as free. So just stick on to T2 micro. There is a new family launched T4 micro. So that is free tier eligible, but the type of AMI that I have selected is not compatible with this. Okay. So go back to T2, and this is the one which I can use. So stick on to this only. If you will take up any other machine, you will end up paying charges. Huh? So take T2 micro in the choose instance type, which is actually giving you one virtual CPU and 1 GB of RAM with the network performance low to moderate, that is up to 1 Gbps. Good enough for me. I'll click on next, configure instance detail. So from here you can select your availability zone. See, so right now you are in London region, and in which availability zone do you want to launch your machine? 2A, 2B or 2C? I said, okay, take it to A. And right now we will not select anything, but later you will learn about all of them. I'll click on add storage. Step number 4, add storage. This is actually attaching a storage to your server. So by default, there is a root volume, that is a root storage which gets associated with your system. This root storage is the storage on which your operating system files will be stored. That's why it is known as root volume. So this root volume in Windows by default it will be of 30 GB size. Minimum that much is required. If you want, you can increase the size, but you should not decrease the size. Okay. Keep it same. Click on next. This is the tag. Just click to add name tag and write the name. It is a Windows machine. Just write the name Windows over here. Later we will understand the meaning of tags in detail. Click on next. This is step number 6, configure security group. So security group is actually your firewall to the system. What happens that whenever you are creating a EC2 instance in the cloud, you are basically creating it in the data center of Amazon. And like in our case, what we will be doing is I will be accessing this EC2 instance from my laptop. Okay. So I will generate the traffic from my laptop to this EC2 instance. In Amazon, the EC2 instance is protected by a small firewall. It is a stateful firewall called security group. Okay, the security group is a firewall. So whenever there is a traffic which is in the inward direction, that is inbound traffic, or if there is a traffic being generated from the machine towards the cloud, maybe to any server, maybe the server is trying to connect to a patch server in some place, or it is trying to connect to a time server, wherever he wants to connect. So if there is a traffic in inward direction, or there is a traffic in outward direction, okay, inbound is there, so the outbound I will draw here. So this is a patch server maybe, to which the server is trying to get connected. So if this is the direction, it is known as outbound traffic. So on the firewall, the security group, you need to create the rules for inbound and outbound. Okay, then only the traffic can be allowed to the machine. So if you are trying to connect, so this is the server that I am launching in the cloud. Right now, this server is a Windows machine, and my laptop is also a Windows laptop. If I want to take the remote connection of a Windows server, I have to use a protocol called RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. Okay, this is the protocol that I have to use. So means that whenever I will try my laptop to take the remote control of this machine which is launched in the cloud, I will generate the RDP traffic from my laptop towards the server. So I should allow the RDP protocol on the security group in the inbound direction. Then only my traffic will be permitted to go inside. Otherwise, it's not possible. So when we are on this page, security group page, we are actually configuring the inbound rules over here. So security group is what? Security group is a firewall where you can create the rules to allow specific traffic to reach to your instance. This is inbound rules that I'm creating. So you can create a security group and you can give it a name, some name you can give it, because I'm creating it for Windows. So let me give it as Windows K21 security group. Okay. So this is what you are allowing. You are allowing port number 3389. Now, when I click on review and launch, you will be able to see what all selections have you done. And then you click on launch. So this is the last step of your EC2 creation. Now, whenever we are in our on-premise environment and we are installing a server, at the server installation process, we get a stage where we need to create the administrator username and password. So username is administrator and the password is something that we have to give. So maybe like we gave Nisha @ 123. But now on this server, actually I'm not getting any option to launch or to set up any password, because now the installation will start. So what Amazon does, it creates a default password. It creates a self-generated password, and that self-generated password is encrypted by keys. It is encrypted. You cannot see it what the password is unless and until you have access to the key. For the security purpose, Amazon does that. And this key has two portions in it. One is a private key and one is a public key. So what happens when you launch a server, you create a key, the public key remains in the cloud and the private key is downloaded at your laptop. So if you will try to connect from your laptop to this server, the password is encrypted. And if you want to see what password was generated by the AWS when it was launching the machine, you need to provide this private key, because Amazon will encrypt the password using the public key and you can decrypt it by the private key. So you have to create a key pair. You need to create a key pair, which is nothing but a pair of a public and a private key. Public key remains in the cloud. Private key is downloaded by you. Public key is used to encrypt the password and private key is used to decrypt the password. Okay. But remember one thing very clearly. Once you have downloaded the private key, you cannot download it again. If you see, I'm creating a new key pair. I have to give a name. Suppose say I give it a name Nisha Key London. I can give any name. It's not a limitation. So let me give it NC London, Nisha Chauhan London. I can give any name. So when I'm clicking on download, it is actually saying me, okay, what you are doing is you are creating a key pair which consists of a public key and a private key. Okay. And when you will download it from here, you are basically downloading a private key file. You have to download the private key file before you continue and store it in a secure and an accessible location. And you won't be able to download this file again after it is created. Clear instruction is being given to you. And if you don't have this private key, you won't be able to decrypt your password. So the private key is the file which is required to obtain the password to log into the instance for Windows. For Linux, this is the key which is required to be provided by you if you want to take the SSH of the instance. So make sure that you do not lose it. Okay, so it is saying it already exists. So I'll give it name 1, NC London 1. So I'm saving the file here. And then I'll click on launch instance. Okay, so my instance got launched over here. If I'll again write in the search bar EC2, I will be able to see that a machine with the name Windows is getting created. It is of T2 micro type. Similarly, I can launch a Linux machine also. Launch a instance. I'm again launching it. So now this time let me select a Linux machine. This one, the first one, free tier eligible. Select. Rest of the process is gonna remain same. Choose the instance type as T2 micro. If you want, just provide the preference of your for the availability zone. Add the storage. This time it is a Linux machine or lighter operating system. So it is consuming only 8 GB. In the tags, you can provide the name Linux. Configure the security group. Now, when it comes to the Linux machines, so now you are launching a server in the cloud and the operating system on it is Linux. And the same process is gonna repeat. I'll be trying to connect to this machine via my laptop. So when we try to connect a Linux machine in the cloud, I need to use the protocol SSH. And this is the protocol that we need to use. And this uses port number 22. So on the firewall, I need to allow the SSH protocol at port number 22. If you want to add any other, you can add up. You can give it a name Linux K21SG. Review and launch. The process is same here also. Now it is asking you for the key pair. So it is not mandatory that you need to create key pair again and again. You can choose an existing key pair and there is no limitation as such that the key pair that you created for a Windows machine can be used only with the Windows machine. The key pair once created can be used either for Windows or for Linux. So the one which I created, what was the name? NC London 1. I'll use that. It says that acknowledge me that you have access to the private key. Otherwise, you won't be able to log into the machine. I said, okay, I am aware. Launch my instance. Now, if you go back to your EC2 service, because this is the key only used for decrypting. So this is how my machines got created. Now today we will learn how to connect to a Windows machine and we'll wind up the session. So now this is my Windows machine. If I want to connect to it, I'll click on connect. I'll click on RDP client and you just need to download this file. Download it, save it on your system. Okay. And then get the password. So this RDP file which you have just downloaded over here, you can connect to it, but it will ask you for a username and the password. So the username has been pre-entered. It is administrator. If you click on more choices and use a different account, it will ask you to add the username. I said administrator. What is the password? You need to get it. Click on this. Provide the key pair file, the private key, which is there in your downloads folder, and then only it will allow you to decrypt the password. So now you got the password. Copy it, paste it here, and click on OK. And there you are. You got connected to your machine that you just now created in the cloud. Okay, this is the machine. So tomorrow we will learn about how to connect to a machine in with Linux. So today we are going to wind up here. Okay. So the same key can be used for Windows machine also and for the Linux machine also. So you see, this is the Windows machine that I have created. So you got connected to the machine which is there in the cloud. And it is so simple. You must have understood it by now. To launch a machine was also very easy, and to connect to it was also very easy.
So, guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if in case you missed upon any concept or if you want to dive deeper into the concepts, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Amazon AWS Solution Architect Certification for beginners. Under this free class, you'll be learning about why and who should learn AWS, cloud services, deployment models, and AWS services as well. And the most important part is you'll be getting hands-on labs, job opportunities, along with Docker and Kubernetes in AWS, and amazing, amazing stuff. So if you want to register for this free class, all you have to do is just log on to your browser and type k21academy.com/AWS SA02. And after that, you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seat now, select your event date, add your name, your email address, your phone number, and click on yes, save my seat. And after that, you'll be seeing this kind of page. You just have to save this link on the extreme right, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.